Hey guys, it's Aggie K, Money Mindset Mentor. Aggie K, Agnes K. And today is day 5 of the live streaming training series on the essential laws of money mindset. And today's lesson is really kind of counterintuitive for many people in the process. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of like my favorite thing about money mindset. This works really well for people who are really driven, really productive, perfectionists, really goal driven, almost like OCD about their businesses. I wouldn't say this is necessarily for people who are super laid back about stuff, but this is definitely, there's probably a version of this for super laid backs. Hey Alejandra, everyday athlete, Alejandra Belmar in Brooklyn, New York. If you're looking for life transformation, life body transformation. Thank you. It's a little bit shorter. I didn't style it today. That's my sister from another Mr. Jessica D. Hey Sarah. So today I'm talking about counterintuitive wealth consciousness and like how to, this piece is important. It's day 5. It's the last day of this 5-day training series. We've been through order, alignment, non-reaction. What did we talk about yesterday? Don't remember. Hey Leah. I have mama brain. I don't remember what I did yesterday. But listen, thank you. Miss you. So today we're talking about day 5, which is what is counterintuitive to many people is to, we talked about guilt yesterday. That's right. Letting go of the big G. Thank you for that reminder. That was a good one. Go back and watch that if you haven't already. So day 5 is about something counterintuitive to most people, which is when you have a goal and you have a dream and you have a financial goal that you're trying to hit and you're trying to, increase your wealth consciousness, you also need to have moments of pushing towards that goal and kind of like being the, the rabbit that's going after the carrot. Is that a terrible analogy? I don't know. But there are times in your money mindset where you need to push, where you need to push for the sale, where you need to push to the goal. There are times for that. But if you are freaked out by that, if you are pushing and nothing's happening, there are times where it's really important for your wealth consciousness to have permission to let go of the goal. You need to sometimes give yourself permission to just not hit it, to not hit the numbers, to not close the sales, to not, hit this fantasy number that you've had. You need permission that your life is going to be okay and that you're going to be okay if you don't hit it. You need that permission. You need that lack of pressure sometimes. It's like you'll be pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to hit this goal, right, to relax. And you need to sometimes release the pressure and be and recognize that you will be totally 100% okay if you don't. Because a part of you might be building this dialogue, permission to relax and trust. A part of you might be building this dialogue that's like, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, because what I have right now is not okay, or I'm not going to survive through what I have now, or it's not what I want, or I suck if I don't hit this goal. So you also need permission to not hit it. And ironically, it's like when you give permission, it's like with kids, when you tell them like, it's okay. You can like wear your shoes. I don't know if wear your shoes in the house is another terrible analogy. But it's kind of like if it's okay for them to do it, like, okay, here's a good example. If I tell my daughter, don't wear makeup every day, she's going to be like, can I do it? But if I'm like, yeah, you can if you want to, you have permission to do that, then she might not need to, right? Kind of the opposite of what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's still a little bit of an example. But basically what I'm saying is give yourself permission to not hit it. You know, like everyone's out there like crush it, dominate it, pressurize it, you know, kill it, smack it, you know, and all this like intense pressure energy. But sometimes you need to release the goal that you will be okay, that your life will be okay, that you'll be a good and valuable person, that you'll be worthwhile, happy, and that everything will be okay if you don't hit this goal too. And you need that permission, you know, because it raises your it raises your energy again. When you release that pressure, it raises your energy again. It raises your vibe again. You relax a little bit more. There isn't so much on the line. You know what I'm saying? You know, and there are times where it's important to push and times where it's important to relax. So I really want you guys to remember that sometimes doing the counterintuitive thing is really important. Doing the opposite of what you've been doing in your wealth consciousness is important. To just relax, to give permission to not hit the goal. It's the long vision. If you don't hit it this month, you'll hit it next month or the month after, you know? And having like a reasonable expectation about that is really important too. If you're in the online world, expectations can be really high of what you should be making and how quickly you should be making it. And you know what? You have permission to not make it. And that relieves pressure. It gives you back energy. It takes you out of the pressure cooker and maybe into some more creative thinking, some more relaxed thinking that brings inspired ideas. And you can't really get to that when you're so attached, you know, to hitting the goals. So that's definitely important, guys. Just relieve some pressure. Give yourself permission to not hit the goal. Like it's not life or death. Stop making it so intense, you know? I'm saying this to myself too. We all need to hear that sometimes. Hey, Demi, we all need to hear sometimes that it's okay to not hit the goal this month. Maybe you had an intense month. Maybe there's a lot of emotions flying. Maybe you're trying to get your funnel up and running. Maybe your family had stuff going on. And it's okay that you didn't hit the goal this month. What's going to happen if you don't hit $1 million in a year? Are you going to die? Are you not going to make it? No, right? Like you're going to be okay. And it's also getting into agreement with what your life is right now. Maybe you've stopped appreciating what you have right now. Happy Friday. Maybe you've stopped appreciating what you have right now because you're so hard focused on the goal, right? So you want to start appreciating what you want to get back into agreement with what you have. And then in a relaxed way, because you don't want to start programming that in your consciousness that the only way for you to make to have the life that you want to live is to push really hard and to press really hard and to be under a lot of pressure, because it's probably not going to work. Shifting your income set point is probably not going to work like that. You have to take actions, aligned actions, do things, you know, to support those ideas, but you don't want to create this, you know, you're trying to create a new life, not the old program. And the old programs can try and sneak in if you don't take control of this and say, look, you know, I have permission to not hit it. You know, it makes it easier to hit. If you're like, I gotta hit that 3-pointer, you know, from the baseline in the last buzzer beater, it's a lot of pressure. Not many people can do that. And then you'll get better at it. You'll get better at hitting your goals sooner if there's less pressure. So this isn't for everybody. This isn't for people who are coasting. Well, you know, there's other videos I have about people who are coasting all the time. That's not for you guys. This is for you guys who are trying to build your wealth consciousness and might be putting a lot of pressure on yourself to get there ASAP. You know, and you want to look at like how long people have taken to build wealth. How long has Warren Buffett been building his wealth? It hasn't happened overnight, right? And it's the long game, right? And so release the pressure right now, take yourself off the hook, and maybe you'll get there a little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? Once you take your foot off the accelerator and give yourself permission to not hit the goal, maybe it'll happen a little bit faster. Right? It's kind of like the counterintuitive thing. Maybe you'll have surrendered enough in that moment, gotten into enough gratitude, gotten into a good enough vibe that you actually end up attracting what you want. So that's my message for you guys today. This completes day 5. If you missed the previous 4 days, There is a link on my Facebook page to grab the rest of the free training, which really is like could be sold at a price and might be at some point. It's really worthwhile if you go through it. Let me know how it goes for you. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll talk very soon.